What the intentional pivot is not is a random detour. What the intentional pivot is a strategic approach to maximizing the in between what was and what is to come. Hi, I'm MB. Thank you so much for joining today. Well, it's officially the beginning of my personal intentional pivot. I'm coming from a daily corporate environment where I've been for the last number of years, and that chapter is now closed. So I'm going to be vlogging for the next little bit, applying my proven methodology about how to approach the intentional pivot. And so for those of you who subscribed last week, thank you so much. If you haven't yet, please think about it and like down below. I would be so honored if you would walk with me for this little while. So talking about now that the first month of me being at home is ending, I am over with my do-it-yourself DIY projects. And so now it is time for me to launch the project that is my intentional pivot. And so it comes to mind that saying, if it is to be, it is up to me. And if that's where you are today, I'm again so thankful and honored for this opportunity to share what I'm doing right now and how this might apply and work and help you. Last Monday, I set my alarm. I got up, I went through my morning routine, and there were no commutes or planes to catch. There were no meetings to rush off to. There were no Zooms to hop onto, no callbacks. It was just quiet, like silent. And it's creepy. It really is creepy when you're used to all that activity, this in between. It's really, really weird. And if you've been through that, it's going to change, but that when it first happens to you to go from full on, foot down on the gas pedal to, okay, it's weird. So no matter what life circumstance you're in right now, you know what I'm talking about. I left an executive role where on the last day, when I stepped down, I had literally over 6,000 unopened emails. I had, probably a calendar that was so full that it would take you about 2 weeks to even get an appointment. And there was so much to do. We had just implemented a 50-minute meeting schedule so that we would have 10 minutes to just go take a bio break or accomplish one action item. That's how intense it was. So when it just stops, I think it's really, really human for us to feel kind of disconnected from the world. And again, the quiet, it's really loud in its own weird way. But it's time to shift focus now. It's time to embrace the in-between mindset and remember that this is indeed a gift. This is time to launch our new product and our new project. And in the intentional pivot, if you're ready, hit like, make a comment, and let's talk strategy. First and foremost, applying a disciplined project management framework. A lot of people don't really think about it that way. It's not common to think about your life or yourself or what it is that you're doing as a project. And yet, after spending many, many years in formal project management environments, PMOs, whether you call it a project or a portfolio management office, but I found that the similarities between corporate projects and our lives, it's very, very, very simple, and it's very, very logical. We do it all the time. So you don't have to be a certified project management professional, right? I mean, just think about it. When is the last time that you put together a family reunion, maybe, or perhaps a wedding even that you planned and you went through? You remodeled your house, or you did a relocation where you had to pack up the family and move them. Maybe community or school fundraisers. The reality of it is that you are a project manager. You have done many, many projects. And if you want to just pop a comment down below, let us know what it is that you work on. But do you see the similarities? Because within the concept of the intentional pivot, you're going to see those requirements are the same. So it is a key component of my success plan for successful pivoting. As a matter of fact, I've applied that project management mindset pretty much every time that I've been in a pivot. They're just simply projects. And that's the really great news. How you apply them and how you operate within that framework really will lead to how successful and how much you can maximize this time of the in-between. I have done 10 pivots in my 35-year career, and each one of them, like yours, extremely unique. They have a lot of different variables to them, different timelines, different circumstances. with some very common threads that are woven throughout them. The one that I'm entering into now, I would call a big rock. Maybe what you're looking at right now is a lesser. Maybe you already know what's next. You're just working out the logistics to get there. However, the intentional pivot as a project, regardless of the size, regardless of the magnitude of it, the end game is exactly the same, which is it's an opportunity for you to go down a different path, for you to head off in a different directions. And setting your pivot up as a project from day one is crucial because your intentional pivot is a high stakes project. Your future is at stake. And what I want to say is that as I share how I'm working through this, I really hope it can add value to you because you matter and your future can change the shape of your community, your family, and maybe even on a much broader level. So to start with, just approaching this again, project management software to get it set up, highly recommend it. Now, throughout the years, I've used probably 5 different ones. So Asana a couple of times, certainly Smartsheet, Trello, good old fashioned Excel spreadsheets, whichever one you like to use. It really doesn't matter, just that you use something to document your project. So last week, in addition to meeting with some advisors and mentors just to get the ball rolling here, I also reached out to a person that I respect, a person I hope will be on my team one day. Haven't talked to her in a bit about it. And I asked her, what are you using for your software right now? And so she talked about something called ClickUp, which I hadn't heard of, but I looked into it, downloaded my free version. And I said, this looks like it'll work really well, especially for a small team. So got it downloaded. And I last week set up my intentional pivot project in the software. It's very much agile methodology focused, so that works really well for me. And then I established my 8 project elements. So as you think about moving forward with your project, with your pivot, you want to start out in traditional project management sense. You're going to start out with what is my scope? What does success look like for me in the future? You're going to, identify your key stakeholders. You're going to outline your tasks. You're going to set up your timeline, your budget, and your throughputs, of course, making your risk assessment, which is critically important. And then your closing measurements. What is it going to look like when you look back and you actually measure it? Because what gets measured gets done. And what are the outputs? And how is that going to shape up for my future, for my what's next, right? Boom. And so I got all of those set up. And so why I really encourage you to do this, as you're listening today, your time and your mental and creative energy, they are like capital. So if you think about it, they're finite capital. And the disciplines and the structure and where you focus during this pivot is going to really help your campaign to be the most successful. And so the steps to a beneficial and very much disciplined approach to this is it gives you that single source of truth. So if you feel like my future feels a little uncertain, I'm not really sure what direction. I know that I've been thinking that, okay, it's like I have about 5 different directions, but I know which one I want to go into. But having this single source of truth is going to help me to focus and to move forward with great intention. It also, secondly, gives you confidence because by managing it, you'll know that sometimes on some days it doesn't work out. And I know I'm going to have those days as well where I thought something, sounded great. It looked like it was fabulous. I thought I knew, how it's going to play out. And boom, it doesn't. It's just something different. So this will give you that confidence to say, yeah, at the moment I might have gotten derailed, but I am on track. I think thirdly, though, and this is very important, is that personal accountability, right? That personal accountability, because it's going to increase your production and you're going to see those measurable steps that you're taking and making. And I think that that's very important to me. The stakeholder alignment, again, this is really, really critical in communications. And then it has that monitoring. And this is really funny because this is like real life happening right at this moment. So as I'm working on this and putting together some thoughts for this vlog today, literally my husband walks through the door of my office and he says, hey, Meredith, just got a text from one of our friends and they would, since you're home now, it's like, how about if you guys just, pop on over and we'll maybe play a game, we'll cook some food, we'll watch a movie. And I'm like, it's the middle of the day. It's the middle of the week. But the reality is that I hadn't really identified with my key stakeholders that I am working on this project. I am launching this project and it's through no fault of their own. We love them. They love us. And how could they know? I mean, to them, it made perfect sense. But that stakeholder alignment is super important because the in-between isn't a vacation. The in-between is not a vacation if you're pivoting into something new that requires work. In other words, if you're not retiring. So I'm launching my intentional pivot, and we can't expect to get support if we haven't shared our plans. So remember, if you don't prioritize your time, if you don't prioritize your days, there's somebody else who absolutely will. And you might know something about that in your personal life. Go ahead and drop a comment if it sounds interesting. Sorry, I digress though. But anyway, so let's come back to really looking at the objectives. So that task list. So what I wanted to share with you today, some of this may work for you, some of it might not, but this is what I did. And that's what I said I would do when I launched this vlog, is I'd be sharing what I actually was doing in real time, anchoring myself for the what's next and building that foundation. So the highlights that I'll be digging into each week as I move forward in the vlog for a time, they are going to be built on the components of my plan. And so within my plan, I have segmented out tasks. And so tasks have many, many subtasks within them, but I have wellness, personal wellness, and in there I have things like journaling and exercising and, gardening. And I know that might sound strange to have in wellness, but for me, it's a positive place. Having my hands in the dirt, it really regenerates me, and that grounding is wonderful. And getting certified for the backyard habitat this week, I was pretty excited about that because I failed last week or last month. So I think it was about probably ripping out of all of that noxious non-native plants and replacing it with the native ground cover that did it. It put me over the edge, but we're certified. It was exciting. So again, that's good for my wellness. And I'm going to be talking about wellness for me and helping you, I think, to consider for yourself what might actually help you to light up. What are the glimmering lights in your life that make you feel whole? Secondly, I have a task for personal development. Of course, I have a number of things in there like books. Thirdly, I set up a task for networking, and that means with family and friends and with business associates and colleagues. Fourthly, the fourth bucket is my personal brand building because I'm going to be writing my first book. That's very, very important. Social media, also very important. I heard once by Gary Vaynerchuk, he said, if you're going to be on social media, be social. And so I kind of took that to heart. My sixth bucket is the old self, and that's that. Again, I'll dive into. New self is bucket number 7. And the last bucket is authorship, which is, of course, where I'm keeping everything pertaining to the book that I just started writing last week. So again, the in-between, we are the ones who are responsible and accountable for it. What's next? We're the only ones looking in the mirror who can take hold and take control of our future. It's just like Zig Ziglar wrote in that classic book, See You at the Top. Success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. So as I close, I'm just going to wrap up with a comment from a person I know that actually texted me after last week's vlog, and he said, Meredith, what do I do if I don't know what I want to pivot to? I have no idea what I want to pivot into. And he said this, I am tired of pivoting. So friends, what I intend to share over the weeks to come is that highly duplicatable or duplicable process for making your intentional pivot. Hopefully, watching these disciplines will help you to pivot well during your what's next. So if this message resonated with you, I just ask that you will please take a moment to click like below. I thank you so much. And if you would subscribe, doubly honored. And remember, the truest thing about you is what God says about you. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. Take care, and I hope to see you next time.